Today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the new LEGO Ideas Dungeons & Dragons set. In addition to that, some construction progress has been made here in the new studio, and we were this close to a disaster. I'm going to let you know about that in one sec, but first, let's have a look at this new set. I'll be honest with you, I'm filming this after a long day at the studio, and it's 9:30 at night. My guest set here is a Dungeons & Dragons set. Is the first time they've ever done a Dungeons & Dragons set. It has 3,745 pieces and retails for a whopping $360 US, which converts to 470 Canadian dollars. Holy smokes. It's available on April 1st to LEGO Insiders. It features a tavern with a removable roof, also a dungeon, tower, and 6 minifigures. We have a orc rogue, gnome fighter, elf wizard, and a dwarf cleric. Plus brick-built monsters, such as a beholder, an owl bear, and a displacer beast. And then, of course, we have the giant Cinder Howl red dragon that can be wrapped around the tower. Of course, LEGO worked closely with Wizards of the Coast to create this model, and over 600 LEGO fans submitted Dungeons & Dragons inspired designs, but the winner was Lucas Bolt from Amsterdam. I personally have never played Dungeons & Dragons, but I really like the look of this set. The tavern sort of looks like the medieval blacksmith, lots of cool building techniques there. Also, the tree out front looks pretty fantastic. I like the arched bridge leading up to the tower. And then you have some of those fern elements, which look pretty sweet, and then the dragon as well. The set does have an open back, so you can very easily check out all of the interior details. My end conclusion is that this set looks amazing. I think it's going to be very, very popular, especially with D&D fans. Me, myself, I've never played D&D, but I definitely like the look of this set. It has like that castle vibe, and also a dragon with a bunch of cool minifigures. So it's definitely a pretty epic set, that's for sure, but once again, I have never played Dungeons & Dragons, so I don't know if I want to rush out to the LEGO store and spend nearly $500 to get this set on April 1st. Let me know what you think of it by commenting below. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we were this close to a disaster here in the new studio, and some construction progress has been made, so I'm going to fill you in on that. First things first, the furnace is operational, so we finally have heat in the facility. How exciting is that? Like, yes, I've been waiting for heat for so long, but it's funny, there was a little bit of an issue. I'll let you know about that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So we got the new furnace, and on top of the furnace is the heating and cooling like coil. So this is the coil for the AC. So when it becomes really hot in here in the summer, I'm going to be able to get AC installed. I figured, you know what, I'm getting the furnace installed. I may as well get the coil put in as well. So when it's really hot in here in the summer, I can turn on the AC. Now, something that I probably didn't need to do, but I wanted to do it anyway, was replace all of the ducting. So all of the duct work is brand new. Originally, they weren't going to do that, but I was like, no, we got to do that. Like, it was all sort of like rusted out. It was gross. So all that is new. The stuff on top is new. You can see there's a pipe that feeds up top as well. That's all new. And then all of these ducts along here are new. Originally, I was like, okay, we got to try and reduce the size of those. But no, those are the cold air return. Like, that ductwork is for the cold air return. So there's actually 2 vents that go into that duct. So of course, it's like the fresh air intake. So that's where the furnace is going to suck in all the fresh air. There's a vent right there, and then there's another vent in this room over there. But there's a minimum size, and that's sort of like the minimum size. Originally, I thought like, oh, maybe they're going to be able to reduce the size of it, but no, that's just like the standard, at least for them when they were installing it. So they ran with that size. Now, I don't know if I'm going to like frame that or how I'm going to treat that. An idea that I could run with is I'm talking to the people in regards to getting a quote for the cloud vinyl. Well, one thing I could do is actually get some more vinyl printed, and we can convert that into like Lego bricks so that it almost looks like Lego bricks. I think that would be pretty cool. Or what I could do is, of course, frame around it, box it in, and then I can convert it into a shelf and put Lego sets there. So there's a couple different options, but I really don't know which one I'm going to run with, because both of them
are, you know, not cheap. It's still more expense, and I don't know if I can take that on right now at this particular moment. But yeah, the new furnace, it looks pretty epic. Also, there was a plan originally to have this right here come off the other side, and then that would actually feed through the wall and provide heat to what is going to be a bathroom and what is going to be a storeroom. Originally, those were fed through the roof. In fact, you can see that one there has a giant hole in it now, and the other one has like the grill on it. So that wasn't like communicated to the employees properly, so they created the hole for it here. So like, oh, okay, in order to do that, we've got to like elbow this way, elbow this way, elbow this way, and then go through the wall. And it's like, okay, well, you know what, guys, like, that's a bit ridiculous. So why don't you just remove the heat vent that's going to be heating a storeroom anyway? Like, I'm going to put bubble wrap and shipping boxes in there and just storage. So I don't really need my furnace feeding that room or heating that room anyway. It's going to have heat on all four walls, so it's going to be warm enough. So what they did is just took that one out. That's why you can see down into what currently is the washroom. And then they replaced this ductwork here, and they did a nice job of that. So of course, there's going to be a wall here, and there's going to be a wall here. So I'm thinking I can just put like a bench over top of that, because I'm still leaning toward this being just like a viewing area where you can look down at the Lego City, and also like my kitchenette. So I'm thinking the kitchenette would be pretty cool here. If there's like a cat cabinet stacked on top of one another. I need some water, 1 second. I literally just finished live streaming for like an hour and 5 minutes, and I was talking the entire time, and I haven't had a sip of water yet. So I need some water. But I was thinking that the cat cabinets could be stacked on top of each other there, and I could use that just to like store food. And I don't know if the exact order of that would be, but imagine if there's a couple cabinets, there's a mini fridge, there's a microwave, and then there's like a little table right here where we have the coffee machine, maybe another cabinet with the coffee machine on top. That's just like my little food area. And then we have these walls here, and I could just put like a bench or something that goes over top of that. Or build a little box out of MDF that goes over top of it. So that's an option, and then there's just like a little chill area. This pipe right here is not going to be movable. That's sort of like the city's water line, so I don't really want to mess with that. And then over here, maybe in this corner, is where I can put my little chill zone. Right beside the kitchenette, we can have like a couch and maybe a little area rug. Well, I guess there's already carpet up here once I install the carpet tile, so maybe not an area rug, but a couch and the TV and just like a little chill zone right beside the kitchen area. So that'll be like the chill half, and then we'll have like some workstations and stuff in the center, and then the part wall over there, the part wall that I discussed in previous videos with the Alex units, the tables, the Sterilite drawers all the way along. And that's going to be pretty accessible to the staircase, which is 3 base plates wide, just over 3 base plates wide. So I'll be able to carry down these big modules that I'm building at my part station / building station. So I think that's how up top there is going to go. And then once I have these walls built, somebody asked me about the art. Originally, I thought the art was going to go around the ceiling above the cloud backdrop. I still might run with that. So of course, we could put it on that wall, or just drywall, just command strip it along the top. Or what I could do is I'm going to have walls right there. I could put them on that wall. So I have like the Brixie sign and then a bunch of art around it. That might be pretty cool. Just put the Lego art along there, and then maybe this is like Lego bricks, or it's framed so we can put Lego on top of a shelf. So that's what happened today, is this ducting went in and the furnace is operational. You'll probably notice something pretty weird here. This is where the disaster lied, okay? Oh my goodness. So there's no floor drain in this place, so they use a condensate pump, and the pump is right there. I've seen these before. I have one at my rental place that uses one of these, and it usually pumps the water that's created from the furnace and also the humidifier into a floor drain. Now, the interesting thing about the tube is actually running into the wall there. See that? There's a hole in the wall, and the tube's running there. So you gotta assume, okay, that tube is probably fed into a floor drain, which is in either the neighboring unit or inside the wall. That's what you would think. So we turn on the furnace. Furnace is running. It's beautiful. It's nice and warm. The heat is flowing out of the front vents. So the way that this works, some people had some questions about this. There's front vents right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hot air comes from there. Cold air gets sucked out of the cold air returns, or fresh air returns, whatever intake, whatever you want to call them, and then heats the building that way. So the first pump of water pumps out the thing there, goes through the tubes, goes into the wall. You think all is well. All of a sudden, there is a puddle of water on the ground. In fact, you can still see some of the water that's coming out. So I'll have to mop that out, but that's coming out of the wall. What the heck? No wonder why this old furnace was so rusty. That tube isn't even connected to a floor drain. It's a moment of triumph. We're like, yes, the furnace is going, woo! And then 5 minutes later, there's just water seeping out of the ground, out of the wall. So of course we go to the neighboring unit to see if it's running into a floor drain that's in the neighboring unit, and it's not. And the furnace is already here, and the ducting has already been redone, so it's not like we can really open the wall where that tube goes into the wall. So the ultimate solution, and this is what we're going to do, is have the permanent tube set up like that, running off the tape into the toilet drain. No, I'm just kidding. But what we're going to do is they're going to come in here, they're going to drill a hole right here, and then they're going to fish that tube through that hole. They're going to tie it to the copper, and then they're going to put it down the sink drain. So there'll be a sink here eventually, and that will just feed down there like that. Now, I probably should go get my dehumidifier and plug in my dehumidifier right here so it can suck the water out of the wall. It's not a whole lot, like it's not soaking wet. I'm sure it's fine. Like, we caught it on the first pump, so there's just a little bit of water, and you can see it's still coming out, but luckily we caught it like right after the first pump, so almost a disaster, because if we would have just left for the day and left the furnace running all night, would have been a lot of water. We would have had to probably replace all that drywall, go to the neighboring unit, replace their drywall. So yeah, almost a fatal disaster. But whoever like ran that tube originally didn't even connect that to a floor drain. I guess we should have double checked before using that. Because going into the neighboring unit, I didn't even know that, to be honest with you. But I guess we should have double checked that, yeah, that is confirmed going into a floor drain. But luckily for us, we can pull it out and have it drain out the sink pipe. And I actually prefer that because there's too much like mystery involved in that. I don't know where that's going. If there is a problem like we've had today, I can't solve that problem. You can see this actually used to be a doorway going into the neighboring unit. So these units used to be connected. So I'm thinking something along the lines of that is like when it was patched, they didn't fix the fact that that furnace is, you know, a different property now. It's just so weird, like what? So I'm actually happy about the fact that it's going to be running into my own sink drain, because now I can actually control it. So if there is a problem, it's on my side of the property where I can actually resolve the problem. But the HVAC guys are actually coming back on Thursday, and they're going to be coming in here with the lift, and they're going to use the lift to install the radiant heater, which is currently in a box right there. That's the 30-foot unit that's going to stretch to the center and then be vented out of the old unit's venting system, and they're actually going to be taking that one down as well, and that's all happening on Thursday. So a pretty cool new set coming out, and some progress was made here in the new studio. Let me know what you think by commenting below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the very near future. Farewell!